Imagine a job so dangerous that surviving it feels like beating the odds. A job where every day could be your last. From scaling towering heights just to change a light bulb, to walking across active landmines, these are not your average 9 to 5s. These are the jobs nobody wants because the risks are just too high. But today, we're diving headfirst into the world's most extreme jobs, where danger is part of the job description. Let's start with one that might surprise you: bike couriers. What's so deadly about riding a bike, you might ask? Well, picture this: weaving through gridlock traffic, dodging cars, and racing against time, all while on two thin wheels. One wrong move, and it could be game over. If you've ever seen Premium Rush, you know just how quickly things can go sideways. But even that doesn't compare to our next job, where the stakes are sky high, literally. Now imagine climbing hundreds of feet into the air to get to your office, like these crane operators. Forgetting your keys up there is the least of your worries. The real threats? Fierce winds, mechanical failures, and the constant fear of falling. It's a job that gives you the kind of view most people only see in their last moments. And speaking of working on the edge, let's talk about the gardeners who tend to plants that can kill with just a touch. Welcome to the poison garden, home to over 100 of the deadliest plants on Earth. One wrong move here, and you could be on the fast track to the afterlife. Hazmat suits are a must because even brushing against some of these plants can stop your heart. Take the giant hogweed, for example. It's so toxic that it can burn your skin and give you blisters for years. But at least these plants won't slice you in half, the monstrous ship propellers that need constant cleaning. Imagine diving into pitch-black waters, where you can't see your own hand, to scrub ship propellers the size of buildings. These diverse, brave, razor-sharp blades in freezing waters, knowing that a single mistake could be their last. And while we're talking about things that can go horribly wrong, let's not forget the bus drivers who navigate the most treacherous roads on the planet. Driving the 1258 to Lima isn't just a job, it's a death-defying act. Winding through narrow mountain roads with sheer drops on either side, these drivers have to stay laser-focused because one slip could send them and their passengers plummeting into oblivion. It's a job where the usual advice of "take your time" could literally save your life. But if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the scientists who study sharks by getting up close and personal. Deep beneath the ocean surface, researchers put themselves in the path of apex predators, all in the name of science. It's all fun and games until an 18-foot great white shark decides to take a bite out of the action. But believe it or not, that's nothing compared to what's coming next, because there's a job where you literally have to milk deadly snakes for a living. Before we get there, let's talk about the nightmare that is sewer diving. These unsung heroes plunge into the filthiest, most toxic environments on Earth to keep our cities running. You think you've got a tough job? These diverse face phobias you didn't even know existed, all for the sake of fixing blockages deep underground. They deserve every penny. Just like stuntmen put their bodies on the line for the sake of entertainment. Stuntmen might seem like thrill seekers, but the reality is far from glamorous. They're the ones who take the hits, falls, and crashes so that movie stars can look good. Every leap, every punch, every crash, it's all real, and it's all dangerous. But when it comes to braving the elements, no one does it quite like storm chasers. Storm chasers live for the thrill of the chase, tracking down the most extreme weather conditions to get as close as possible. Tornadoes, lightning, flash floods, they face it all head-on. It's a job where every moment is a gamble with nature's fury, and one wrong move could mean the end. And speaking of death-defying feats, let's talk about the bridge painters who hang hundreds of feet above the ground. These guys have to balance on narrow beams while inhaling toxic fumes and trying not to look down. It's a job that requires nerves of steel, because one misstep could be fatal. But even they wouldn't trade places with the window washers who clean skyscrapers over 2,000 feet tall. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, imagine this. You're dangling thousands of feet in the air, when suddenly, your platform slips. That's exactly what happened in 2013 when two window cleaners were left hanging 69 floors up. They were stuck there for over 2 hours before being rescued. And yet, even that doesn't compare to the sheer terror of changing a light bulb at the top of a TV tower. These workers have to climb all the way to the top, sometimes over 2,000 feet in the air, just to change a single bulb. The climb alone is terrifying, but the real challenge comes when they have to get back down. It's a job that only the bravest of the brave can handle, just like the drivers of the Bloodhound LSR, the fastest land vehicle on the planet. Hitting speeds of over 1,000 kilometers per hour, driving the Bloodhound LSR isn't just fast, it's dangerous. At those speeds, a small mistake could lead to catastrophic results. It's a job that requires split-second decisions and nerves of steel, much like the linemen who work with some of the most dangerous power lines in the world. Linemen are the unsung heroes who keep our world powered. They work with over 100,000 volts of electricity coursing through the lines, where one mistake could be deadly. But even they don't face the same level of unpredictability as bush pilots. Bush pilots fly in the most rugged and remote areas on Earth, where there's no runway in sight. It's a job that demands precision, because landing in the wrong spot could mean disaster. But if you think that's tough, wait until you hear about the icefall doctors who paved the way for climbers on Mount Everest. Icefall doctors risk their lives to create safe routes through some of the most dangerous climbing conditions on the planet. They're the ones who test the paths before anyone else, knowing that one wrong step could lead to disaster. But even they don't face the same kind of peril as the avalanche cameramen who film nature's most destructive force up close. These cameramen risk everything to capture the perfect shot of an avalanche in action. They're not just filming, they're standing in the path of destruction, knowing that one miscalculation could be their last. But they're not the only ones pushing the limits of what's possible. Ironworkers build the skyscrapers, bridges, and towers that define our cities. They work hundreds of feet above the ground, balancing on narrow beams, where a single mistake could lead to tragedy. And while they're building the future, product testers are making sure it's safe by putting their lives on the line. Product testers don't just try out new gadgets, they test bomb-proof suits, stab-proof vests, and even bulletproof glass. It's a job that requires absolute trust in the product, because one failure could mean the difference between life and death. And speaking of trust, let's talk about the firemen who jump out of planes to fight wildfires. These smoke jumpers skydive into remote areas to battle raging forest fires. They're the last line of defense between civilization and destruction, and their job is as dangerous as it gets. But if you think that's wild, just wait until you hear about the snake milkers who extract venom from some of the world's deadliest snakes. Snake milkers risk their lives to collect the venom needed to create life-saving antivenoms. It's a job that requires nerves of steel, because one wrong move could mean a deadly bite. bodyguards are dealing with a different kind of danger, protecting the most powerful people in the world. Bodyguards put their lives on the line every day to protect presidents, celebrities, and world leaders. They're the ones who stand between their clients and danger, ready to act at a moment's notice. But even they wouldn't trade places with the lumberjacks who face the lethal combination of falling trees and sharp tools. Lumberjacks work in one of the most hazardous environments on Earth. They're surrounded by heavy machinery, sharp tools, and falling trees, all of which can be deadly. It's a job where a split. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more videos like this.